Hello there. You may have noticed that I have a cool transition here that switches from one scene to another. So that was given to me by a user named Quanto. I don't know if I'm using the word user correctly, a viewer, I guess, but a user of Twitch. User sometimes can mean a drug addict, and that could be the case too, but that's none of my business. But thank you, Quanto, for that. That's going to be very exciting, and happy Sunday, everybody. Today we're going to be making an all-American classic. Oh, also welcome to Henry's Kitchen, where today we're going to be making the all-American corn dog. A lot of controversy and history surrounding this food item. The newly arrived German immigrants in Texas. I'm not sure what year this would be. I'm going to say early 1900s. The Germans were sausage makers, and they found resistances to the sausage that they would make in Germany when they tried to bring it to the United States. And the way the actual quote goes is a U.S. patent filed in 1927, granted in 1929 for combined dipping, cooking, and article holding apparatus, describes corn dogs among other fried food impaled on a stick. And the patent reads, "I have discovered that articles of food, such as, for instance, wieners, when impaled on sticks and dipped in batter, which includes its ingredients in self-rising flour and then deep fried in vegetable oil at a temperature of exactly 390 degrees F, the resultant food product on a stick for a handle is a clean, wholesome, and tasty refreshment." Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. Clean and wholesome. There used to be a place called the Hot Dog on a Stick, which was a franchise that they had in malls in the U.S., and they would put the women that worked in there in very titillating attire, for lack of a better word. So I'm gonna call BS on the wholesome and clean thing, but I do want to say that a number of current corn dog vendors claim to be responsible for the invention and the popularization of the corn dog. Carl and Neil Fletcher lay such a claim, having introduced their corny dogs at the State Fair of Texas sometime between 1938 and 1942. Pronto Pup of Rockaway Beach, Oregon, claims to have invented the corn dog in 1939. Cozy Dog Drive-In in Springfield, Illinois, claims to have been the first to serve the corn dogs on sticks in 1946. This is all from Wikipedia, so it could be bullshit. Also in 1946, Dave Barham opened the first location of Hot Dog on a Stick at Muscle Beach in Santa Monica, California. Okay. I want to thank all the folks that are subscribing right now, and I want to say a very special thank you to someone named Storms of Shadow, who I failed to mention last week, but this person gifted about 100 subs to people, and I'm still learning exactly what that means, but so that was very cool. Storms of Shadow, I really appreciate that, and also want to give a shout out to Neural Halation, Purple Donut Filling His Fruit, Booums Jr., God of Blunder, Dr. Wowie, Tech Jansen 01, Dakukasai, Daki, Anerla 1112.
Okay.
Trooper Gaddy, and Saxo.
Okay.
And Rather 178. So I'm going to try to shout people out in real time because I really appreciate the support to Betsy. But we do have a lot of work to do. So maybe if you have I'm going to take a look at some of your questions here. Thanks, Magnog. And see what's going on here. Hide White 2 says, is this a healthy dish? Absolutely not. It's very high in saturated fat, and it also contains hot dogs, which are basically just the disposed of parts of beef and wrapped into intestines. So it's not healthy by any means. Don't let anybody tell you that otherwise. Comments coming very fast here. Thanks, Pan Prezes 7. Huck3N, will my food be worse if I don't slurp coffee before cooking? I do like to have coffee with my cooking. It's always, this is something that you're always going to get right, you know? If everything else goes poorly, you've always got coffee. So hopefully you've got a coffee brewing, or you're sipping some coffee while we're doing this. Do they use dog meat in China? Bebop man. I think you're probably talking about hot dogs. I don't know if they eat hot dogs in China, but they probably do. I know that in Korea they have hot dogs. Corn dogs. There's a Korean version of the corn dog, which is very fancy. It's got something called panko on it. Seguaro, thank you. It's got hopper eggs. Just subscribe. Okay. The Korean corn dog is very fancy. It's got things like panko and pineapple and all kinds of interesting stuff around it. We will not be making that, and I know it's a little bit controversial whether the Korean dog or the American dog is better. I don't want to get involved in that argument. There are way too many arguments online, and I just want us to all be peaceful. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of our ingredients. Let me get this shoe out of the way. The shoe is going to be for crushing our corn. So what we have is some vegetable oil, some salt, 1 egg. I'm going to be using, I thought these were regular hot dogs, but there's some kind of sausageless sausage, Italian, made from soy. So that, whatever, it'll still, for our purposes, turn out to be a dog. 2 corns, flour, which unfortunately on the Discord I may have failed to mention to you guys that you're going to need flour for this. If you don't have flour, you can use no, you pretty much need flour. I'm sorry, but most people do have some lying around. There's some sugar, 1 egg, and some milk, and that's pretty much that. So we've got a lot of work to do. Sir John Cheese. So let's get started. I'm going to start by removing, we can check in on the roast beef cam here and see how he's doing. He's fast asleep. I set up a little bed for him. Roast beef is my cat, for anybody just joining. So maybe we'll get some more action from roast beef in a little bit. He's pretty much crashed out. He's very old. So let's do this now. All we're going to need is the corn. Try not to break anything while you're doing that. I'm going to get a piece of parchment paper. or wax paper. I'm not sure what the difference is. I think they're basically the same thing. And we're gonna start by corning our cobs. So you just wanna go like this.
Okay.
Dwayne's Rock. Let me see what that was. I lost it. Oh, Dwayne's Rock Hard Johnson. Beelzebub gifted something to Dwayne's Rock Hard Johnson. It sounds like something's going on there that I probably don't even need to be involved in. All right. Corn dogs without corn wouldn't really be much of a corn dog, so I'm using 2 cobs. If you have more cobs, then that's better. But this should be enough for our purposes. Dispose of the cob. If you don't want to waste your cobs, you can use them for plants. I'm using a butter knife for this because I don't need something very sharp, and as you can see, this could be a dangerous situation. If I slipped or something, I could really do some damage to my fingers. So I try to avoid sharp objects in the kitchen in general. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but oh, very important. I also have the oven preheated at this point to 400 degrees. I want to let you know that now because you're going to need that. All right. This, thanks, Elnick88. Elnicky88.
Okay.
Vosge Terrace, Einke 88. Standard average. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
The game watching guy. All right, so we're gonna take our corn.
Okay.
Lost Dave. And we're gonna spread it out on our parchment paper. Like so.
Okay.
I'm actually a little surprised that this is all the corn that we have. Thanks, Eric. But whatever. Now what we're going to be doing, we're basically making cornmeal. And if you have cornmeal, then you could use that too. But I'm going to show you how you can make it yourself. You're going to put another piece of parchment paper over your corn, and you're going to grab the shoe or any kind of a thing that you have to mash it. I like to use a shoe. You could also use a hammer or a mallet or a gavel, but this is nice and wide. Uh-oh.
Okay.
I think the shoe may have woken up roast beef.
Okay.
And you know, you're gonna probably piss off some neighbors if you do it too much, so I try not to do it too much.
Okay.
Got a lot of subs happening here, and I like to try to say them in real time.
Okay.
Brian W. Foster gifted 10 subs. Brian is a great supporter, and I appreciate that very much. Chupawunga just subscribed, and
Okay.
a lot of stuff going on here. Mr. Dinks Vibrator subscribed. I want to thank you, Mr. Dinks. Hell Faucet.
Okay.
Mike Burchin.
Okay.
Three Gundy. Oh,
Okay.
I see. These are all the gifted subscribes. Okay, so these are just about mashed. I've got some nice song requests from people today, which is nice. We'll be doing that in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I've got my mashed corn here, and we are going to put this in the oven Again, 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Okay, so I have my mashed corn in the oven for about, we're gonna leave it in there for about 20 minutes. I know that seems like a lot of time, but what we're doing is we're dehydrating it, and to really dehydrate it, you'd wanna leave it in there for like 10 hours at like 100 degrees, but we just don't have that kind of time, so I'm trying to speed up that process, get it cranked up to 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. That should be dehydrated enough for our purposes. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and move on to our next step. We have roast beef has emerged here. He's pissed off. So, okay.
Okay.
I have here, we're gonna use 2 bowls. We want one for our wet ingredients and one for our dry. For the dry, we're gonna have flour. So we're gonna do our 1 cup of flour, but we're dividing today. I'm only making 2 dogs here, guys, so I'm gonna be dividing everything by half. Starting with a half a cup of flour, that's easy. That's just 2/4 of a cup. I don't have a half a cup, but I have a 1/4 cup, so you can always double check it with Alexa, how much is half a cup?
Here's something I found on the web. According to reference.com, having 1/4 cup results in 1/8 cup, which is equivalent to 2 tablespoons, and having half cup results in 1/4 cup, which is equivalent to 2 ounces.
Okay. That's a little different from the math that I was doing, but whatever. We've got our flour. We're gonna also add in there some salt. We just want 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and this is gonna be tricky because the 1/4 teaspoon is very small. And also, I've got this fucking pepper grinder or salt grinder thing, so it's very difficult to do with just one hand, or with 2 hands. I need a 3rd hand is what I'm saying, so yeah, you know, because most of the salt isn't going in there, so I'm assuming that I've got probably about 1/4 teaspoon of salt in there, but it's not really a perfect way to do it. Oh shit, and I was supposed to divide it in half, so 1/8 of salt, whatever. Okay, so next up, we're gonna do 1/4 cup of sugar, which of course will turn into, Alexa, what's half of 1/4 cup of sugar?
Half 1/4 cup of sugar weighs about 0.89 ounces.
Okay, so I'm just gonna eyeball this and say half. That's about half of our sugar there. Next up, for dry ingredients, a little bit of pepper. Okay, so we need, this is another one of these situations where I've got a grinder, so I'm gonna very carefully put this, but I'm only gonna use half. Yeah, it's going everywhere except into the teaspoon. So again, I'm just gonna guesstimate. I've been doing this long enough to know how much salt and pepper you're supposed to put in a dish. So that part's good. All right, so we've got salt, our pepper, and our baking powder. We want 4 teaspoons. I've got my teaspoons here, but at half of 4, we're only gonna use 2 teaspoons. So remember that you're using baking powder and not baking soda. Powder is a granulated fine substance as opposed to soda, which is a carbonated beverage. So there we go. See if there's any questions. Let's see. Nicer Man 1 says, hi, it's my birthday today. Could you play Nobody's Birthday when you play music? That's a great idea. I'm gonna do that. And if I forget, please mention it, and I will do that. Oh geez. Roast beef is very old, and he's been doing this sort of croaking noise.
Okay.
That's very disturbing. Not sure where he's off to, but we've got a lot of work to do here. So we've got so many. If you're just joining us, we've mashed up our corn, we've put it in the oven. We've got our dry ingredients bowl, which consists of flour, salt, pepper, sugar, and baking powder, and we're gonna sift it up. I'm just gonna use the spoon to sift it. I don't see anything wrong with that. Meanwhile, let's see if there's some questions. Alienated Worker says, have I considered making a LinkedIn account? It may be a great way to network and further my cooking career. I could do that. LinkedIn is one of those things that I've seen in the corner of my eye, but for whatever reason, I've never actually partaken in it. I don't know what happens at LinkedIn. I imagine it's probably similar to Facebook or one of these things, but networking is always good. Okay, that's the dry ingredients. Now let's get on to our wet. So for the wet ingredients, what we have here is we're gonna have our 1 egg, 1 cup of milk. So let's do half a cup of milk. Again, I don't have a half a cup thing, but I have 2/4. I could have also just done, I could have guesstimated 1 cup. But there we go. That's our half a cup of milk. I'm gonna put this back in the fridge so it doesn't spoil. Did anybody remember what time? Is there a way to say what time I put the corn in the oven? Because I didn't set a timer. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to figure that. Alexa, set timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
Okay, so we've got eggs and milk. Let's go ahead and, I didn't put the egg in. Now, again, I'm dividing ingredients. I have 1 egg. I'm not sure how I'm gonna divide 1 egg, but I'm gonna do the best I can. I think I'm gonna let some of it seep out this way. And then I also want to get some yolk in there. Okay, wow, that was pretty good, because as you can see, I've still got about half yolk and half white in there, so, shit. Well, we got a whole egg in there, I guess.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and stir this up. Stir it up pretty good. Let's look at a few more questions here. Could I substitute? Wow, they go so fast. Can I make this even though I live in Europe? I would imagine so. Can I make Henry's All-American Corn Dogs? If my name isn't Henry, and your name is What the Duck, so no, if you made them, they'd be called What the Duck's Famous All-American Corn Dogs. Could I substitute the shoe? Geez, it just goes so fast. Substitute the shoe with something else instead. Yeah, you can use a mallet, you can use a hammer. They say hot dogs are already fully cooked and eating them uncooked is called raw dogging. That's from Crispy Lift. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't want to spread any misinformation. I would double check that with WikiLeaks or whatever, Wikipedia. Okay, so this is dry ingredients, and the next step here is that we will be we're going to be combining our wet bowl with our dry bowl and forming some kind of batter like so. So far so good here. You want to have a batter that's very creamy. You want to make sure there's no actual yolk visible. I'm going to let you see this a little bit closer. I try not to touch the camera equipment while I'm cooking because I tend to get batter and shit all over it, but I do want you to be able to see exactly what's happening in this bowl. I'm going to use something better. I'm going to use, you know what I'll use is a whisker. I actually have a really awesome one. It's got all kinds of colors and stuff, and it's made out of rubber. A lot of subscribers here recently. That would be Primo, Danbar, Riley Riz, Mid Cappy, Scott on Fire, Amethystus, Silent Apostrophe, Lols 544, and like I said, Mr. Dink's Vibrator. I think, was that a Disney movie? Pine Nipple. Oh, Beelzebub gifted to Pine Nipple. Mark Lahorn resubscribed. Thank you very much for that. Okay, we're getting very close to our next step here. We've got a nice creamy batter here. I'm going to borrow the roast beef cam for a second here. Sorry about this. Alexa, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 10 minutes left on your 15-minute timer.
Okay. If you'll notice, let's see here. Just a little bit of a technical situation here. Okay. Definitely Johnny subscribed. Okay, so what I've got here is my hot plate in which I'm going to put some oil, and we're going to get that heated up. So I'm not really sure exactly how much I'm supposed to put in there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to at least coat the whole thing. We want this oil to be really, really hot because we're basically deep frying. Oh, and if anybody wants to see what the final product that we're making is going to look like, it's going to be very nice. You want a little bit of mustard on the side there. So let's go ahead and take, let's put this on. I'm going to put it on high and push start. You'll let that heat up and see if anybody has any questions. Jesse has gifted 10 subs. Thanks, Jesse. Dolan Trom says, can you give my friend Forsen a shout out? He's a huge fan. So Forsen is somebody who's sent a lot of people here. I always like to say thank you, even though I've never met Forsen. What if I can't afford some ingredients because of sonic inflation? That's Da Funk. You can usually find some of this stuff lying around your cupboard, left over from before the inflation. So I would suggest that. What else do we have? Hack 3N says you are going too fast. What shoe size could I use? I try to use a large shoe. I have some huge shoes that I bought one time, but they came in handy for this kind of thing. It really did the trick. Respectable name. If I only have ground mustard, can I just stir some water into it to get a dipping mustard? Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out the mustard situation there. We're very close to being done with our corn. As a matter of fact, Alexa, how much time is left on the timer? Alexa, how much time is left on the timer? All right, well, that's unfortunate. It looks like I don't have, maybe...
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now. Please try a little later.
That's unfortunate. Let's go ahead and take our corn out. I don't want to take any chances. I'm going to grab an oven mitt. I'm going to clear some space. I don't know about you guys, but I woke up this morning saying that I want to have a good day. And I don't want anything to go wrong. I'm not taking any chances. This seems like maybe it's an internet problem, but hopefully you guys are still seeing me and everything's working out there. Oh no. Oh boy. I'm not sure what happened here. I honestly don't know what the fuck happened with this. Yeah, I mean this is a real serious bummer. I guess I cooked it too much, but I didn't. Okay. What we're gonna do, because the corn is we're making corn dogs, so it's a very important part of what we're doing. I've used the last of my corn. I'm literally gonna salvage that little bit of corn that is there. This is such a drag. This just sucks. Okay, you know what? We basically don't have corn, but if you're doing this at home, hopefully you've got corn. And I don't want to fuck up my batter with whatever that nasty stuff was. Sorry about the language occasionally. I've always said that when you're in the kitchen, sometimes foul language is just the only way to kind of deal with some of the problematic stuff that you get. All right, so just imagine that this batter has corn in it, and we're gonna go through the same process. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take our dogs.
Okay.
I don't know if you can smell that, but it's probably not. Check in on roast beef here. Oh wait, no, I used this camera for something else. I think roast beef has left the building. All right, so I have here I guess this is a veggie dog. So I don't have skewers, which is a very important part of this, but I'm gonna be creative. And you always have to be creative when you're in the kitchen. I'm gonna take our dog here and I'm gonna use a meat thermometer. and I'm gonna poke it through that way. And voila, it's a hot dog on a stick. Next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna dip this in the batter. What you want to do is you want to set up sort of a makeshift, I guess, assembly line, if you will. You want to dip this in the batter. The problem that I'm having now is that the dog is too big for this fucking bowl. I'm not sure how to deal with that. Well, okay. Let's move on over to our other item here. Gonna deep fry it. I'm gonna open a window. Things have gotten really smoky in here, and I think that's probably mostly because of this corn situation. And also this is acting up a little more than I wanted it to. So I've only got 2 dogs here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this second dog, and I'm not gonna put the skewer on it just yet. I'm gonna roll it up real good in the batter, which is supposed to have corn on it, but what are you gonna do? And then once I feel like this is pretty sufficient, you want to really cover that up there. Get all of it. Then we're going to put it in the deep fryer. Sorry, I don't want to get, I have to switch cameras here. I'm going to try to do this in real time. So I have our battered dog, and we're going to put this into there. Watch out, because that's going to be very, very hot, and it's going to splash a lot. Alexa, stop timer. Like that came in handy at all. That one was probably too cooked. All right, guys, we're gonna basically end up with 1 dog here that's gonna be any good, because I think I left that one in too long, but whatever. Okay, I think we're done. Let me get another plate. I'm gonna use some, I've got a pair of clampers here that I'm going to use. Oh, that's very hot. Well, I don't think there's any doubt that these are deep fried. I'm going to try to, okay, let's stop this thing. Does anybody know how I'm literally pushing stop and it's not doing anything, so I'm just gonna unplug it. Whew. Got a very smoky situation there. But you know what? We still have one dog, which is, other than the fact that it might not have corn on it, it's still very nicely deep fried and should serve our purposes. The other one's very crisp, but I don't think it's terrible. And you know what? It doesn't smell that bad. Getting a little bit of a smoky situation happening here. I know that my neighbors are probably impressed that I'm always cooking because they can smell the smoke. Okay, let's take a look at our next order of business. We have deep fried them. At this point, we're basically just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna take a paper towel and I'm gonna lay it underneath these guys. Oh, somebody's calling. Oh yeah. Hello? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to cook. Okay, I didn't realize that. I'll put it out now. We're gonna leave that there to cool. And meantime, maybe this is a good time to do a little bit of music. We've got a birthday song that somebody wanted to hear, and a lot of exciting stuff. So Curtains has subscribed. Look at some of your comments. Can you guys still hear me okay? Somebody requested Smoke on the Water. That's the riff anyway. Couple of the requests. We've got Holy Guacamole. Holy guacamole. Holy guacamole. I just got hit by a car. And you're the one who pushed me in the street. Knocked me off my feet. Left me in a coma. Guacamole me, guacamole you. I just got shot in the face. And you're the one who had the smoking gun. Love is just no fun whenever I'm with you. And you're gonna have to forgive me because the person who asked for the birthday request, I don't remember the name, and it's gonna go back. I can't go back, but to whoever you were, I'm gonna do the best I can. It's nobody's birthday. Don't put a candle on the cake. It's nobody's birthday. It was just a big mistake. It's nobody's birthday. No need to uncork the wine. 'Cause it's nobody's birthday but mine. There'll be no balloon animals, no Chuck E. Cheese, no animatronic singing dogs. There'll be none of this for me. And don't Don't give me any fucking birthday cards. I don't need your sympathy. The Hallmark stores are all closed and shit, 'cause there's none of that for me. We never found out the name of that person who requested that song, and I feel bad. But thank you. And a couple other requests for non-Jose Suicidio songs that we've had. One of them was The Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seed while I was sleeping. I think that's illegal now. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walk alone, narrow streets of cobblestone. Hear my words when I might reach you, in their words and I might teach you. But the signs and the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls. Dun, dun, dun. And the sound of silence. And lastly, there was a request for a song. This is all on the Discord, guys. This is where I'm getting the requests for the songs. There was a request for this one by Weezer, and I didn't have time to learn the whole thing, but I'm going to try to get the chorus. If you want to destroy my sweater, hold this thread as I walk away. Watch me unravel, I'll soon be naked, lying on the floor, I've come undone. Wasn't familiar with that song, but it's very interesting lyrics there. Okay, that's enough music, and I want to tell everybody that in August I'm going to start doing a new stream on Thursday nights, where I'm going to be doing a lot more music, and I'm going to be trying to delve into the world of playing games, which I haven't done in years, but I want to be able to start communicating with people on that level. And here we go. Do a quick check-in on our. So these are drying, and we'll see how we're doing up against the. Yeah, so you know. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start working on plating it now that it's cooled down. But first, I want to say a very special thank you to some amazing people who have done so much. Jody, thank you, Jody. Let me see if I can get that name again there. Jody Hyrola 77, thank you for that. And Flat Feet.
Okay.
And Slime Hunting and Curtains, Sneaky Woodpecker, Jesse, definitely Johnny, and I think I'm caught up. If I missed you, I apologize, but I want to thank everybody, and thank Shadow of Storm, or Storm Shadow, who gifted Storms of Shadow, gifted 100 last time, and thanks Brian W. Foster, Beelzebub. You guys are really making something happen here. I've always said that for whatever reason, you know, I've tried a lot of different things in my life. None of them were ever particularly successful. But when I started cooking 10 years ago, or teaching cooking 10 years ago, and then I started cooking about 7 years ago, I realized that maybe a cooking explainer is sort of my thing. And you're helping that dream come true. Kiro Slavius says, hey, Henri, the French spelling, Henri, is this easy to make? Because I am with my girlfriend's husband and he wants to make a food for me. So I'm just wondering if he will be able to make this dish.
Okay.
2JZ, subscribe. Yeah, Kiro Slavius, I don't know about that. Sounds very complicated, but, Van Wedge, do I know any Slayer? I do not, but that's a good one to put in the Discord, and then I'll try to get that going. Some Beatles, okay, yeah, there's a lot here that I missed, but I'm gonna take a look at them. I want to thank the moderators: Dingo Bop, Fawcan, Dom Beef, Hottest Bear, Do Dingle, Dogoggy, Dr. Flanges, other various helpers: Bacchus, Daisy Blossom, Melon95, Pilskman. There's a baby crying next door. I hope it's not related to what I'm doing here. Sir Doom, who introduced me to Bumblevision and the LGX, have all been very helpful. I always want to say thanks to Nim. Nim had me on his stream and I taught him how to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and the rest is history. Bill Larkin Music, my friend who does amazing music on here, gave me a lot of advice about streaming. And as we mentioned earlier, Forsen, Moon, and I'm gonna try to get, yeah, there's so many, and also I want to once again thank Quanto, who enabled me to do this. Quanto is his name. By the way, when I say enabled me to do this, I'm talking about the transition, not necessarily the cooking. The cooking, of course, I know how to do already. But, well, hopefully I haven't missed anybody. Shane, yes, I always want to thank for putting these clips on Reddit, because a lot of them have gotten some really nice viewerships. And I think I mentioned Moon, who sends a lot of people over here. And there's another person, too. QGC or OGC. I see that one a lot. I'm gonna get that more correct. Can you say Ji Bao? My son said it all the time. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Chai Bao? I don't know. But let's start plating this thing. Okay, so these are cooled down, so we're gonna put these on top of our plate. Like so. I'm gonna grab a little bit of mustard that I have here. Hopefully I've got mustard. I'm pretty sure I do. All right, I don't think I have mustard, but I have this, which is left over from when we made the Big Mac. It's sweet relish, and it's gonna do basically the same thing. Doesn't seem to want to come out of here. Okay. We're going to use that as sort of a dipping sauce. And now let's go ahead and put our skewers into this, like so. That part went well, thank goodness. And I've got a different style of meat thermometer. This is a digital one, but this will work just as well. Boy, this one's pretty crisp. But it's not going to keep us from our dish. There we go. These are the All-American corn dogs on a stick. as originally invented in the 1920s from German immigrants in Texas who wanted to figure out a way that they could showcase their sausage and make them more appealing to people. So let's go ahead and compare how we're doing. That's the professional one, and never get discouraged if yours doesn't look exactly like the professionals. Mine, you know, they have professional photographers and a much more, you know, high budget situation. But okay, now time for the ultimate test, and let's see how it tastes. A lot of times stuff doesn't look good, but it tastes good. I'm gonna dip it in the dipping sauce. How does the dog taste? I'd say it's not bad. Kirosa says, would I consider this a romantic dish? Not by any means. It's too, I don't know, too casual or something. Dr. Cholive, when am I going to show the non-professional one? Well, I guess this would be the non-professional. Clotho Boer, Henry, what step am I supposed to, that's Lifeless Deceiver. What step am I supposed to add the cocoa powder and confectioner's sugar? No, you're actually mixing that up with the dish we did last time, which was the barrels, Henry's whiskey barrels. So I'm not sure what happened there. There might have been some cross communication. Hide White 2, does it smell rotten? You know what, it's funny that you bring that up. I think that oil that I had was very old. And I think once I cooked it, I probably got any kind of bad stuff out of it, but it's a little nasty. But you know, I've made worse food. Here. Everyone type A says, can I season my wiener with paprika, Henry? Yeah, you could season it with just about anything, I would imagine. Can I use corned beef hash instead of corn? That's Riot Girl. I mean, they're both corn, so I would imagine. Yeah, we really had a bad situation. For anybody who's just joining us right now, maybe I can get the roast beef cam here to take a shot. I don't know what exactly happened here, but it's very, very disappointing. Sorry, we're gonna have to figure out some camera stuff here, but that's not good. I don't know what happened to our corn. I put it in for 20 minutes, which isn't a lot of time. I mean, when you really think about it, 20 minutes for corn is not a big deal. I had it on 400, but maybe I mashed it too hard.
Okay.
Drua just subscribed, thank you. So if you're just joining us, what we've done here is we have made not terrible hot dogs on a stick, and if we compare them to what we were going for, the only main difference is that I don't have any mustard, so I'm using some sweet relish, but other than that, it's basically the same thing. And I also don't have skewers, so I had to use meat thermometers, but you know. Well, everybody, I want to say a sincere thanks for joining us here today on Henry's Kitchen, the live stream. I want to thank all the people that subscribed and followed and gifted and did all these wonderful things. August is going to be a very exciting month for me because I'm going to try to become a partner, and it means that I have to do a lot more streaming and just starting to really focus, and
Okay.
I'm completely up for any interaction or advice that you have. Thanks, Titty Liddy.
Okay.
Let's see here. XX Genji subscribe. Thank you. Heidi Gigi says Hi Diddy Gigi. Gege maybe? GEI. Can we use vodka as dip to have the best of both worlds? Well, vodka, I'll be honest with you, I've developed a little bit of a taste for it recently, and I might spend the rest of my Sunday engaging in that. Sorry we didn't get a lot of roast beef action. Once the oil started smoking, or no, once the, I guess the pounding was hurting his ears, so he went off into a different room. So anyway,
Okay.
I hope you had a lot of fun. Moon just subscribed. So that's awesome. Thundering Roar. Oh, I see. Anonymous gifted a sub to Moon. Sometimes these things come in weird orders. Okay, so
Okay.
quote if stream F resubscribe. Thank you. Shane
Okay.
Yes says drunk stream. I don't know. Maybe on one of these Thursday nights. Pets Poop, is roast beef your sous chef? Hide White 2, what was that call about? Oh yeah, I had one of my neighbors called about smoke, and I also realized that I had some incense burning, which I do sometimes to cover up the smell of the cooking. Quattro Head, do you think it's a coincidence that your name is Henry's Kitchen and you are a chef? Well, Henry's Kitchen isn't my actual name, but Millinoid, do they not like the corn dogs? I don't know, but anyway, once again, we came, we fought, we conquered, and we came up with a pretty damn good corn dog. That one's not ours, but this one is ours. And I'm gonna call it a success. Thanks again to Quanto for these wonderful transitions, and everybody. I'm gonna see you on Wednesday at 11 a.m. when I'll be doing my next cooking lesson, and I'm gonna try to do something a little more, maybe
Okay.
something that doesn't require the oven because it's hot out there, and this all ended up kind of fucked up anyway. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again for joining me, and have a great week.